WWE are very happy with their high ticket prices, a new WWE Faction revealed, plans for Roman Reigns' return, and more. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
To kick today's WrestleTalk news off with some niceness for a bloomin' change, it has been revealed by his wife that wrestling legend Jake the Snake Roberts had undergone heart surgery yesterday on May 13th. Well, good news everyone, Mr. Roberts has revealed via Twitter that it all went well. He posted, "I'm out of surgery, recovering well and feeling good. Appreciate everyone who prayed and gave their words of encouragement. Back in action again soon. #trust me." Please send your well wishes to Jake Roberts in the comments down below, who continues to be one of wrestling's most inspirational characters. And he's just in time to see NXT debut a brand new faction name. Last night's NXT continued on its road towards Battleground as Miles Bourne kept his #1 contendership by beating Ethan Page. There was a contract signing between Trick Williams and Joe Hendry, and Stephanie Vaquer teamed with Jordan Grace to beat Fatal Influence. But the show also saw a team debut their new name. It was reported that WWE had filed the trademark for High Rise with a Y and a Z like it's the late 90s, and fans did not have to wait too long to find out who that group is. Wesley, Tyson DuPont, and Tyrick Igwe have been teaming on screen together for a few months, but before Lee's match with Tony D'Angelo last night, they had an inset promo where Lee revealed that High Rise is the name of their group. Better or worse than Dark State? Let me know in the comments down below. The show also had Miles Bourne, who won his #1 contendership to the NXT Championship in last week's Battle Royal, reveal that he's partially deaf, which can affect the way he talks. He added in his promo that he doesn't want to be known as the deaf kid, and he wants to be judged on his ability, not his disability. So while you're in the comments of today's video, give Miles Bourne a little shout out. And really, let's be honest, NXT has been consistently WWE's best show for a while now. Raw and SmackDown have had their ups and downs, certainly SmackDown more than Raw since the move to 3 hours, but NXT's just been a really fun show. And it's not just fans that are happy, as the CW, the home of NXT since last October, are very pleased with the results. CW President Brad Schwartz spoke with Variety, where he spoke positively about the relationship between the network and WWE. He said it's been an absolute game changer for the CW, and I think it's been a game changer for WWE. The last quarter that just ended was the highest rated NXT quarter in 5 years. It's up 19% year on year. He also revealed that the CW are in constant discussions with WWE about expanding the partnership, which could include additional WWE programming. Additional programming on a happy network can really only mean one thing: more money! The CW deal with NXT was reported to be for around $20 to $25 million per year over 5 years, an absolute steal when you consider that Netflix picked up Raw for around $5 billion over 10 years, and WBD penned a new deal with All Elite Wrestling for a reported $185 million per year over 3 years. And speaking of big money items, it's time to talk business.
Today, you become a man of business.
As revealed during their Q1 financials, TKO Holdings, the parent company of WWE, announced $1.2 billion in revenue for the first quarter of 2025, with $58 million of that being profit. There's a lot of contributing factors to that amount: the Netflix deal, Saudi Arabia money, massive sponsorship deals, and live events, and, cutting talent, but they didn't mention that one in the financials. The financials revealed that WWE grew from $35 million to $58 million for live events, which is a combination of higher attendance numbers, bigger site fees, i.e. cities paying WWE to do their shows there, and higher ticket prices. Now, WWE's ticket prices have become a big talking point over the last few months. Some have claimed that nosebleed seats for this year's WrestleMania were upwards of $800. Randy Orton called it embarrassing how much money some people spent to get in to WWE's biggest event of the year, and the 40 grand tickets for SummerSlam were widely mocked by fans when they were released. But key to that is that those tickets sold out. Perhaps even more key, if I can even use that word if it's real, WWE are doing less shows now than they used to. Mark Shapiro, TKO's chief operating officer, has been very vocal at conferences with business-type Pokemon about how WWE were doing too many TV tapings and house shows across the United States, and this led to the decision to cease doing house show events in what WWE would call C-level towns. At the JP Morgan 53rd Annual Global Technology Media and Communications Conference, which sounds like a right laugh. Share your favourite moments from the JP Morgan 53rd Annual Global Technology Media and Communications Conference in the comments down below. One take, Shapiro said that WWE have cut around 75% of their live events. He added, "We feel that's a good place to be and will continue to prune as we go through. WWE has tremendous upside on global partnerships, tremendous upside on ticket pricing, tremendous upside on site fees, dynamic pricing, yield management. In essence, WWE are doing less shows and making more money." Now, using the term dynamic pricing could raise some red flags with some fans, as the system, which can adjust ticket prices minute by minute based on demand, has come under fire in the last year or so. There was so much uproar here in the UK over the dynamic pricing structure on Oasis tickets, it was talked about in the Houses of Parliament by government officials. At a previous conference, Shapiro even floated the idea of cutting travelling TV tapings, as they have the added expense of transporting equipment across the country, i.e. doing Raw and SmackDown in the same location every week outside of special episodes. He also added that WWE's premium event will focus on high quality and low volume, which is a fancy way of saying the 5-match pay-per-view cards aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But speaking of going somewhere soon, WWE have made a surprise announcement for an upcoming episode of Raw, and we'll have more on that after this very cool promo from our super cool video game channel, Control Freaks.
Die!
No! Not you!
Flashbang!
Ragtag!
Time for the professionals to come back. I'm Dom. And that's Sully.
Yes.
Oh, jump forwards, run forwards! Pro strats. Thick as mints, those people. Is that you?
I think that's me!
Fungus McChungus. Oh no, so many people died. I used to be a traffic warden before I joined the armed forces. Look at me! Look at me! It looks like rain.
I just want to hit you once with a sledgehammer, you useless man!
How could you punch a man like that? Rubbish!
There was a fall. No, I didn't say forward anymore! Yeah!
We've lost a quantum web again!
Oh, no!
Flashbang!
This past Monday's Raw saw the announcement that Gunther will face the winner of Jey Uso vs Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship on the June 9th episode of Monday Night Raw, which will take place in Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to all my Noel fans out there who got that reference. And now WWE themselves have revealed that's not the only big thing coming to town on June 9th, as WWE.com's listing of that show also has announced WWE Champion John Cena. Now, this could mean several things, but fans have whittled it down to two potentials. One worldview is that this confirms that the WWE Championship match for Money in the Bank, which will take place the Saturday before, will be John Cena vs CM Punk in a lovely play on their classic 2011 Money in the Bank title match in Chicago. And Cena being on Raw would him being doing a victory speech following a successful title retention. But another, perhaps more likely worldview is that Cena will be drafted to Raw. But when will that draft happen? The problem is that no one seems to know. The 2025 draft was previously reported to take place around WrestleMania, which didn't happen. And a different report has said that WWE are planning one, but don't have a specified date yet. And a new report from Wrestling Observer Radio says that it could take place at the end of May on the run of Tampa shows. However, given the source of that report, I would add a certain grain of salt to its veracity. Speaking of big names on big shows, and despite making what felt like a surprise appearance on the Raw after Mania, Roman Reigns has not been seen on WWE TV for a few weeks now. Fans theorized we would be getting him and Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, but turns out it's actually Sami Zayn who will team with Punk at Saturday night's main event. Now, this is part of Roman's yearly sabbatical as part of his part-time status, and when asked about this on Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp noted that last year saw Reigns return at SummerSlam, and he believes there is a good chance that Roman does the same thing again this year, but could also potentially work that show. He adds, "I think whenever he comes back, he'll pick up his feud with Seth Rollins and probably Braun Breaker. It will be a big part of Braun Breaker being solidified as a top guy. If Roman only sees a few years left for himself, I think establishing Breaker as the next guy near the top is a good idea. Speaking of Roman Reigns, and he was part of the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event with Seth Rollins and CM Punk finally getting that Mania main event that he's been chasing since 2013. While there has been some online debate about what the real main event of this year's Mania was, it cannot be denied that the triple threat did close out one of the nights, so it is technically a main event. Korn may be the headliner of the final day of this year's download, but that doesn't mean that Green Day aren't the main event of the first day. I don't know, whatever the case, Dominik Mysterio has made fun of CM Punk in his Mania main event. Speaking with the Wrestling Classic on Casual Conversations, Mysterio said, "I flipping hate CM Punk. Don't know what it is about that guy. I don't know if it's because he looks like Eddie Munster and I want to kick him in his fudging face, or the fact that everyone is like, he finally did it. He finally got his WrestleMania main event. Good for you, old man. 60 years old. It took you, what, 45 years to accomplish your one goal? It's about time." It's what they say about babies. When they have tantrums, you give them what they want, so they shut the funk up. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Lol, never change, Dom. Now, before you get your pitchforks in the comments, it should be made clear that this is Mysterio largely in character. He goes on to say that Punk calls himself the best in the world, but Dom claims that, well, he's better than the best. He's just trolling the internet in the most Dom way possible, and I couldn't love him more for it. And if you missed what Dominik Mysterio did on this week's episode of Raw, Ollie Davis and myself broke it down on the Tuesday edition of the WrestleTalk podcast. We'll have a new episode of the WrestleTalk podcast out tomorrow covering AEW's Beach Break edition of Dynamite, as well as the news around the passing of Sabu. Check out the YouTube video on screen right now and subscribe wherever you get your audio podcast from. Leave a comment on Spotify while you're at it.